Now it's time to create our remove link and our remove page. So in a cell with the remove word placed inside of it, type href equals question mark p equals categories remove ampersand, then id equals echo, and we're going to be echoing our id, which we pass as an id parameter, and closing PHP tag, closing double quote, and after the remove, type closing a tag. If we now go to the browser, refresh the page, you can see that we have the links created inside of the remove column. Now go back to the text editor, open the categories remove page, and before the require once function, type if is set did, which is one of the parameters sent via URL, then do something else. We are going to echo this content here. Now I'm going to remove the closing and opening PHP tag, and now we're going to echo this heading here, make an indent, and close the curly brace. Now, if the ID isn't set, then we need to check whether the ID is set. So if is set ID parameter, then we're going to do something else. We're going to require once the file called error, which simply displays page not found information. And let's indent this one. Now, as you may recall, we've inside of the functions.php, instead of requiring the file, we simply created this statement here, which basically is duplicated inside of the error file. So rather than doing this, let's remove the entire thing and let's just include this file, so error.php. So if page doesn't exist, if we go to the browser now, and let's say categories with 2s, require once error failed to open string, no file or directory. Okay, let's go back. Okay, it's not going to be inside of the inc folder, it's going to be inside of the pages folder, obviously. So if we go back, refresh, now you can see that it's populating the content from this error file. Okay, so if we remove this s, we are back on the categories page. Go back, we can close the functions for now. Okay, now if ID is set, then we require our header, we display our message, but what I would like to do also is to display actually the name of the category we are removing. So after the remove, double quote, then echo, double quote, and we close our heading. Now we're going to echo another function which will be called get category name, and we pass one parameter ID of the specific category. Now we're going to open our functions.php, and right at the bottom we're going to create this function get category name. We pass in ID. Let's copy everything from the previous function. Select from categories where ID equals ID, and we selecting name only. Okay, if total rows equals more than 0, then we will we also need rows equals MySQL fetch sock result. Then we will display our name, category name. Otherwise, return the blank string. Okay, so we've got category name function ready. If we try and test it, if we click on the remove, you can see remove bus country, but it's obviously too close to the remove. So if we go back, remove, let's do this space gt like this arrow and a space. If we go back, refresh the page, we can now see the name of the category. If we click on the other one, it shows us the right one as well. It's all working fine. Okay, now that we have a name of the category as well and heading, let's echo some content as well within the paragraph. Are you sure you want to remove this record? Question mark. BR tag. Then echo again. There is no undo with the exclamation mark and closing paragraph. Then another echo, and now we're going to place two options, two links. One is href equals, and it's going to be question mark p equals categories remove ampersand, then did equals, and we're going to place id here. So as you can see, we are creating this did now. So if they click on yes, the same page will reload, and this time the ID will exist. So obviously the ID statement will be executed here. Okay, we can close the double quotes. Okay, then closing yes, closing a tag, space, vertical line, then href, and this one will be question mark p categories, no, closing a tag, closing paragraph, and the double quote and semicolon. Okay, so we've got this else statement ready here. If we go to the browser and check this, so if we click on remove, are you sure you want to remove this record? There's no undo. If we click on no, we're going back to the categories. If we click on yes, we get the blank page because we haven't got anything inside of this if is set did statement yet. So if we go back, and inside of the is set did, we're going to create a SQL statement. Delete from categories where id equals did. Okay, now MySQL select DB, database conDB, result equals MySQL query. I got SQL conDB or die with MySQL error. Okay, now we can check if result has been executed successfully. We do something else, we do something else. So if it's been successfully executed, we will redirect the visitor to the administrator, actually in this case, back to the categories. Now we can do it in the following way: header, location, and specify p equals categories. Then exit, and it's all fine. But because we're going to be using this redirection quite often, it's a good idea to put it inside of the function. And this is what we're going to do now. So if we go to the functions, let's copy this entire thing. Go to the functions, and right at the bottom, let's create a new function called redirect. And this function will pass one parameter, which will be the URL of the where we want actually the visitor to be redirected to. So we can now put the header inside of this, and instead of the categories, we just put this URL in a curly braces. Now, just as a precaution, let's assign the value of null by default to the URL, and now let's do the condition if URL isn't null, then execute the redirection and close it here. So we've got the redirect function where we only have to provide the URL to which we want to redirect the user. So redirect, let's copy these categories here, start with the double quote, and we can remove this entire content. Okay, so what if the result has been successful, the user will be redirected back to the categories. Otherwise, let's display the message. Let's copy the header, because we need to obviously have our template here, header and footer, and echo the message. First heading. Actually, we can copy this whole thing here. This time we pass in DID because we have access to DID now. Category name and echo the message, which will be in a paragraph. Category could not be removed. And that's basically everything. Let's test it in the browser. If we go back to the gallery, let's add the new category. Test has been successfully added. Let's remove it. Yes, we want to remove it. We went back, as you can see, our test category has now been removed. Now, this file is half done. For the purpose of removing categories, it's all finished. But because we're going to be also having images associated with the category, whenever you're going to remove the category, we will want to remove the images as well. So we will still have to go back to this file, but this will happen when we will be working with images.php file. But for now, that's everything. Let's move to the next video.